Hello, and welcome to my Against All Odds pay-per-view review, or I should say pay-per-view theme review for Impact Wrestling, which I will say they had a very nice narration package. I will say that. I'm almost making it almost feel like a pay-per-view in a way, because they actually had the guy that usually did all the intros to the TNA pay-per-views, whoever the narration guy, that's what it felt like, and it made it feel like a pay-per-view quality show for what was going on in the show tonight, because we did have some matches hyped up. But to kick off the show, we kicked it off with LAX coming out, calling out the Lucha Brothers. Conan was on the mic, of course. You know, he said that both the Lucha Brothers and LAX are both of his family, but all of this now has led to disrespect, mass ripping, brawls all over the place. It's madness, he says, but he wanted the Lucha Brothers out here right now. The Lucha Brothers then came out, which I guess they were looking for a fight anyways, which both teams started to brawl and beat the crap out of each other. The indie security referee guys, they tried to come and break it apart. They were backing off for a minute, but the Lucha Brothers had super kicked the super security guards then on the outside of the ring. Pretty much right after that, LAX had one of them in the ring who was trying to break up the entire fight, but they end up throwing him on the outside of the ring, just very far away. They threw him on the outside of the ring, throwing him very, very far away into them. Pretty much the Lucha Brothers came up from behind them. They threw some steel chairs at LAX after that, beating the crap out of them. They even put some tables in the ring on the turnbuckle. Was gonna put LAX through it, but LAX dodged it, pretty much hitting simultaneous Death Valley drivers in the corner of the tables, taking down the Lucha Brothers, then pretty much holding the title belts over their head. Pretty good brawl, which I'm sure we all know where this match is gonna lead into, since they've been beating the crap out of each other for a few months now. But now this feud has gone to a different level. So good brawl, I will say that. Pretty much then after that, LAX was in the back. Pretty much talk about how they beat down the Lucha Brothers, how they have disrespected LAX one too many times. It was supposed to be about respect, honor, and pride, but the Lucha Brothers have broken all three of these things. Which, who is the faces and who is the heel? I guess, are the Lucha Brothers the heels or the faces? Or maybe it's LAX. I'm not honestly really sure, to be honest, of who was the face and who was the heels in this feud. But like I said, to continue on, no. Conan pretty much said that at Rebellion it will be LAX versus the Lucha Brothers, Full Metal Mayhem. So tag belts on the line, hasta la muerte y después, as LAX ended off. So a Full Metal Mayhem match, okay, I'm good with that. On a pay-per-view, good. I expected this to lead to a pay-per-view anyway, so just going how long this feud has been going, and it'll be at a pay-per-view show in the next month, so I am looking forward to that, and I'm sure it should be really good when that comes in. But next, right after that, another match that has been hyped up for the past few weeks, a intergender match. Scarlett Bordeaux versus Disco Inferno, which I should say this is Scarlett Bordeaux's in-ring debut, if I'm not mistaken, since she's been the Smoke Show, and I don't think she's actually wrestled on this show till now, and it's going against Disco Inferno, which Disco pretty much got the mic and said, "You sure you want to do this match?" Scarlett called him a turkey boy and told him to shut up and wrestle, and Disco's gonna prove why a woman can't be the man. What is this? Take shots at WWE and Becky, if I'm not mistaken, if we're gonna go saying the man and everything. But what do I have to say about this match? First off, Scarlett tried to pretty much roll Disco up really at the beginning of the match, which even took him down with some clotheslines that he had to get out on the outside of the ring. And, he had a towel in his hand. Was he going to throw the towel in? But no, Scarlett was going in until Disco hit her with a hip toss after that. A lot of this was him kind of dominating the match at one point, which, even there was a lot of Disco sucks chants. Scarlett did recover, threw into the turnbuckle and with a stink face and everything, but Disco was able to reverse her and hit her with a rush leg sweep, doing his Village People's elbow, and he was put her in the corner, was going to go for those 10 punches, but Scarlett pretty much dodged it and something like a power bomb and pinned him for the win. So she did beat Disco. This match was okay. I know they did hype this up, and I'll give them that leading into this intergender match, but this was okay. Did Disco somewhat dominate the match? Yeah. I've seen better intergender matches in the past of men versus women. I've seen it for a very long time. Only recent ones I could really say nowadays is Lucha Underground and how crazy that went over there. Because nowadays you could not get away with this, especially in way WWE on TV. You could not get away with that unless it, because you'd be having a shitstorm of people come after you then. But continuing on, the match was. It was okay for what it was. Like I said, I've never really seen Scarlett Bordeaux wrestle till now. I thought she was good. Don't get me wrong. Maybe if we see a legit match next time on here, then we'll see. Or maybe I just need to go do some research and just probably watch a few matches and stuff. But the thing with Disco, at least I will say they hyped it up well coming into this. So it was not that bad all the way. Melissa Santos interviewed Taya Valkyrie about her Knockouts title match against Jordan Grace, which, that Jordan Grace is not where I loca strong, and that making short jokes about her. Pretty much she could be shorter than Melissa Santos there, and that she's going to retain her title tonight, and that Johnny said it's going to be a good night because she was going to take Grace to Slamtown, and that cage is going to break. Okay, that the Killer Cross will break the machine. They hyped up their United We Stand pay-per-view coming up. We'll talk about that in the video because it's going to be a long week of wrestling next week. I'll get to that at the end. But even during that, they did play a preview of Rob Van Dam's documentary, Headstrong, because he is on that card, and I believe he's in the main event also, and I'll get to that later on. But they did show a preview of his documentary of Headstrong. Looks pretty good. I may check that out whenever I get the chance. It looks interesting to see, and I'm a fan of RVD, so I do want to check that out and see what it is about, though. But a good preview for Van Dam. Next, we went to Ms. Santos interviewing Tessa Blanchard as she talked about how lawyers could pretty much own this company, that she has them by the balls, and that Gail Kim is going to apologize to her tonight because, legends come and go, but diamonds are forever. Next thing you know, they actually played I should say, like last week, which we all kind of knew it was, but the return video package for Madison Rain, which I'm not surprised she's back. I found out that she just kind of up and up left Ring of Honor. I don't know if it was creative differences in that, because, Madison Rain talked about the last time she was here and that her legacy is an Impact, which is true. She's been in this company for a long time, but she talked about people she has not forgotten, like Su Yung, which then she put her in a coffin, and that's why she was gone and pretty much ended up in the Mae Young Classic and Ring of Honor right after that. Pretty much, I don't even think she was in Ring of Honor for a full year, but, back now, and talked about she was coming back for Tessa and Taya, that Taya is trying to use her name of being the queen of the knockouts, but there's only one queen bee around her, and that's her. I'm not surprised she's back in the company. Come on, her husband works here, Josh Matthews, so I'm not surprised Madison Rain came back, but I just kind of found it odd that she just up and up left Ring of Honor. I never knew why she left Ring of Honor. She just left. But once I kind of found out she left, and we all knew she was coming back, because Impact actually had put a statement out about Madison Rain was returning back to Impact Wrestling. So could anybody be surprised? Did I ever think she was really going to be in WWE like that? Nah, I think it was just for the Mae Young Classic. I don't ever think she was really going to get signed anyways. I would have been surprised if she did, but with her being back, I'm not surprised. Okay, so she's back in the company now. They also went to the Lucha Brothers, cutting a promo on LAX that they will finish this at Rebellion. Of course, Phoenix hops around a lot. Sabas porque Sierra met yo at Pentagon. So they had that going on. Next, Tessa Blanchard came out as she had a mic, pretty much glowing, talking about what Gail Kim and everything that Gail did to her. This is justice for Tessa. And as Gail Kim came out, she demanded an apology from her. Gail did not really want to be out there, but Tessa says, "You will apologize. You cost me my Knockouts championship." Gail pretty much said sorry, for what? And she just, because she had to apologize, did very sarcastically. "You attacked me. You cost me my title." Gail did apologize, and yes, she did. resigned from Impact Management earlier today, and that she will not be, part of management anymore. But it's Tessa pretty much on the gloat. You were in an era which was famous for bra and panties matches, pillow fights, and jello. Me, I'm out here main eventing Impact Wrestling, okay? I'm changing the game around here. And you wouldn't even survive in my area. I almost got taking a shot at Gail Kim. I would say in her area in WWE because I think not in Impact they did too, but Gail Kim was around in that era. If you want to go back there, a lot of that was mostly bra and panties matches and stuff for the women at the time. But Gail Kim, she said that Gail couldn't even lace Tessa's boots, and that I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. I won't see your face over again, so get out of here. But before Gail left, there is one more thing she wanted to say. Yes, I am resigned from Impact Management, okay? But under one condition, I get to come back as a wrestler to kick your ass, as she went on to say. Gail pretty much didn't attack Tessa right after. Pretty much brawling with her, knocking her out of the ring. Like I said, Tessa pretty much went out, backed out after that. So it was also, I think they did make official, which I'm sure we all knew was coming. It will be Gail Kim versus Tessa Blanchard at Rebellion. And I will say they have hyped this up and built this story very well. We knew Gail would come back out of retirement sooner or later, even if it's probably for one time. Or maybe this feud continues for how long, I know. But they had to put this on pay-per-view. I do know that. It's better than put on any other regular show of Impact. So I am looking forward to this match. It should be a very great match between these two. And it should be kick-ass when this pay-per-view happens. And they have stretched this out very well, if you ask me. Could they even do it later in the Slammiversary or something? Maybe. But I don't think this is far from over. And I am enjoying to what I see. So really great segment between Gail Kim and Tessa Blanchard. They played the Madman Fulton debut from last week, formerly known as Sawyer Fulton, former Sanity member, which I will say he's doing better than Sanity on TV nowadays. But Sami Callihan had his OVE camcorder going downstairs, looked like into a basement where the Lucha Brothers were slapping him around as he was tied to a chair watching OVE matches on a TV. I guess they were brainwashing him. They had his eyes taped open as Sammy, says the torture working and everything, and that, they just had him tied up. And now Fulton, he's being mentally broken down and everything. This is the newest member of the OVE family, that he's going to be at his full potential. He's now a monster, okay? And that Swan and the Mac better watch out, because they're going to take over everything, and even Fulton said calmly, everything. So they're making Madman Fulton look like a monster. Like I said, I did not know who that guy was last week because I never recognized him until somebody said it was Sawyer Fulton. But he does look big. I will say I am looking forward to him in OVE. Okay, so he's better than what Sandy's doing on TV right now. I can say that. Come on, could you agree? Come on, you gotta agree. But yes, I will say OVE looks like more of a cult, brainwashing people going into this. So yeah. Taya Valkyrie went against Jordan Grace for the Knockouts Championship. Really good match. I'll say. I did enjoy this match. It was really good. The finish, though, I'm not kind of surprised, which it did work. Of course, Johnny came out after, Grace was about to go for her finisher, but Taya acted like her ribs was hurt. The referee counted 10 by count out then. So I'm sure we will see another title match at, maybe Rebellion, since the title, it does protect Jordan Grace here, because I believe she's still undefeated, if I'm not mistaken. And, won by count out. Brian Cage pretty much came out then, chasing both Johnny and Taya around. Grace was able to knock Taya out of the ring then, which, Cage still went after Johnny. Johnny used her as a shield and everything, but before he could get away, Cross came from out of nowhere, putting the cross jacket in on Brian Cage, which transitioned into the next match pretty much right there between Killer Cross and Brian Cage then, which I would say was a really good match also. I thought one thing that was strange, though, to me, was the finish in a way, but before Cage could even get the win, Johnny put Cross's leg on the bottom of the rope, which the referee had saw, which would break it out then, as the referee didn't really see. But as Cage was trying to go for Cross, Taya hit Cage with a low blow. Cross pretty much distracted the referee during that time. He hit Cage with 2 Doomsday Saitos, which, Cage looked like he kicked out then, but it looked like the referee was in on this too. Kind of screwed over Brian Cage, the Johnny Bravo referee. And even though it was a 2 count and didn't really hit the 3, it was still at that then. Johnny and Ty got in the ring then, pretty much picking up the scraps from Killer Cross. They start, Cage, Johnny started beating the crap out of Cage then right there in the ring, punching him, hit him with a running knee. It even took a chair, put it on his arm. Cage tried to get out of it, but Ty kept saying hit him as he beat Cage's elbow with the chair inside. Concerto right there, just beating it. And, they pretty much made out over Cage's body, and Callis called him Johnny's, or was it Josh called him Johnny Sleazebag, and everything. So they are building major sympathy for Cage. I will say that, and especially if they're building this match going into Rebellion. Johnny does like a great heel out here. I will say that. Him and Taya pretty much standing over Brian Cage right there, beating the crap out of him. With a Killer Cross on this side also. So, him getting screwed by a referee. They have built great sympathy for him. What happens next for next week, I'm not really sure, but we will see after that. Which I actually thought this was the main event. But then we go to the Undead Realm. Now I have a lot of things to say about this. I have some good things to say. I have some very bad things to say about this, okay? First off, let me say one thing about the whole cinematic thing. I don't know what type of camera they're using over there, but I don't think this was that great of a cinematic thing. And this was let me tell you this whole segment was very Lucha Underground, like, very Lucha Underground. I would have said the Broken Universe, like the Hardys, but it's just because they had JB on their side and they had a better production quality value. This here, just something was not that good about it, okay? And I will say this is most likely you will see the last time of Allie on this show, because I'm gonna get into that in a second. But what they did have Rosemary and Allie go through the Undead Realm through a coffin. Rosemary's got this blade or like a meat cleaver with her, which they go in, and Kiera Hogan did follow them in there. And I guess they went into hell as James Mitchell was in the ring, as he was surrounded by all these indie wrestlers and the Undead Maid of Honors, which I don't know. James Mitchell telling Rosemary that, you really want to meet the boss, don't you? Which they send in Luchasaurus from Lucha Underground. The last time I saw this guy, or Vibora or whatever, he had his head cut off by Taya with a giant sword. And, he's going against Rosemary, which he knocks the knife out of her hand, but he gets a wrenched in and smashes the Luchasaurus in the stomach, which there was blood everywhere. So he is dead again, folks. The Luchasaurus has been killed again on TV. His head was cut off one time, but now he must have regrew his head, and now he got cut by a blade. And these guys got in the ring, and they knock Rosemary down, and they get this sword and stuff. And Rosemary cut both of these guys in the throat with the sword. There was blood everywhere then. And even Undead Maid of Honors got in, and Kiera Hogan even kind of came in and tossed her another, like, a giant sword, which she does this giant spin slash on like 5 of the Undead Maid of Honors. Even somebody pointed this out. It was like Link doing that spin move in Super Smash Brothers. If you hit up B, I believe, just to recover yourself, and like just cuts all of them out like it was nothing, okay? And Rosemary said you shouldn't come here, but Kiera said she was going to be here to the end. Su Yung got in the ring and unlocked Alley, the dark alley, I should say, and they pretty much was going to get Rosemary and Kiera right there. Pretty much told Alley to do it. I guess stab her with the knife, but I guess Alley would not do it then, and everything. And they put Kiera in the man. It was crazy. Okay, what do I have to say? Because next, James Mitchell's, she's got Kiera, looked like she was gonna hold her in her hostage, trying to slit her throat. And next thing I guess the boss coming. Kevin Sullivan is listen. I've seen Kevin Sullivan do this dark shit before. Okay, I've seen it in the past. Even some in Ring of Honor with Punishment Martinez, and listen, I can go back to the 80s and all this stuff. All right, I don't know Kevin Sullivan's whole history like that, and even in WCW, but I guess he was like the the devil, the dark devil, that you spent too much time in the undead realm. And Su Young's got this glove Freddy Krueger thing and was gonna stab Rosemary with it, but stabs Allie in the throat, even though you could see that it's not even hitting her, going through her throat. There's like just blood there, and she was never really hit. And I guess she looked like she was being killed, and everyone was shocked then. And then Allie, like, she turned back to normal and stuff after that, as you know, there was like blood, what looked like blood everywhere, and all this music playing. And Rosemary says, "Don't." Allie said, "It's okay. I'm whole again." And it looked like she just either disintegrated, just like Infinity War with the Infinity Gauntlet. And I guess she is gone and went to AEW now after that. What do I have to say? This, I don't know. Like, this is very Lucha Underground, because Lucha Underground murders a lot of people from out of nowhere half the time, especially in season 4, which there was like several murders on that show. And I don't know what to really take from this. I didn't think the cinematic thing was that good. Okay, and I thought Rosemary and, you know, James Mitchell was okay. Even Sullivan being a surprise, but I don't care. Hogan just like she was reading lines off a script, and I guess this was the last time you saw Allie on this show. This is literally the last time you will see her on here. Okay, being killed off, just killed. Okay, just very killed off on this show, and because we all know she is now signed with All Elite Wrestling. And at first I thought she was still under Impact contract. I didn't really know until somebody actually sent me an article saying she was already gone from the company. And even I kind of saw on her Twitter, you know, she just said she's been Impact for how long? 3 years, I believe. So I guess she will be Cherry Bomb when she goes to AEW and stuff. Well, I don't think she was really ever the Cherry Bomb character in Impact, if you ask me. Because her husband was in the company. Listen, the best things I can name from Allie from her time was Impact was the whole storyline with Maria. That was actually really good. Her, of course, team with Rosemary, which I'm sure they will continue to team because they have a YouTube show together. So I know they're really great friends. I think she had the Knockouts title 2 times. I think she was good in the ring. I will say that. I don't know what's gonna happen when she goes to AEW. They must see something in her really big that they signed her, so that is good for her to be part of All Elite Wrestling. Because I believe she was in Impact for from 2016 all the way to 2019 right now. So she was there for about 3 years. You know, I think she was good. I don't say she was the best knockout. I've seen some mixed opinions about her leaving Impact, which some people say she was not really that good at that much, or she was, but with her going to All Elite Wrestling now, this was the last time you will see her on this show. I really believe it is. She was killed off. She pretty much disintegrated like in Avengers Infinity War. So this is I don't know if this undead thing continues now at this point. Hopefully everybody moves on and goes to something else better from this. Because I don't really think I've really seen Rosemary wrestle that much ever since she's came back from her injury and everything. So hopefully we will see something from that. I don't know if this continues, and with Kevin Sullivan being involved now, maybe they do continue this Rosemary and Su Young thing. I don't know. Okay, Allie's gone. She's gone to All Elite Wrestling. So that's kind of the whole thing with that. So, you know, I enjoyed the Against All Odds show. It's just the ending of it just really had me kind of going both ways from this. I did, like I said, I enjoyed stuff like Cage and Cross out there. I did like the Gail Kim and Tessa Blanchard segment, so that was really good too. I didn't hate the show. I did enjoy Against All Odds. I thought it was really good. The LAX and Lucha Brothers confrontation out there, the Knockouts title match between Taya and Jordan Grace. I just think the Undead Realm thing just really, I don't know if it was a good way to end off the show. Maybe we should have did this early in the night, but if this was the way to write Allie off, I guess that's how they're going with, by killing her off. Or maybe she does come back for all I know. I don't know. But that's my review of Against All Odds. Now, I do want to say something about the United We Stand whole pay-per-view thing coming up next week. Listen, there's gonna be a lot of wrestling this week, okay? And honestly, I really will be late on this Impact Wrestling review for when next week's show happens, okay? Will I try to get a United We Stand pay-per-view review in? Maybe if I can, but listen, there's going to be so much wrestling next week. We all know next week is Mania weekend and stuff. Like, there's a lot of shows to get through, okay? Of course, we all know WrestleMania itself, which has no business being 8 freaking hours, if you ask me. I'm going to need a lot of coffee that day, okay? And we may do a prediction video on some of these shows anyways, but between that, of course, you have the G1 Supercard Saturday between Ring of Honor and New Japan. You have NXT TakeOver New York, which I don't know why they just don't call it TakeOver Brooklyn 5. I don't really understand why they just didn't call it that. You're in the Barclays Center. Why did you just call it that again? It's pretty much Brooklyn 5. Listen, it's not going to be during SummerSlam weekend this year, so we'll discuss that later on. And you have the United We Stand. And there's other shows from MLW or GCW or where everybody's calling it the Shadow of New York, which I guess people don't like talking about New Jersey that much anyways, but it's in the New York, New Jersey area. And let me just say one thing about the United We Stand whole show, which I will go over a little real quick, some of the card, which some matches I do want to see. This is almost very reminiscent to the Impact versus Lucha Underground show they had last year. Wasn't really a lot of storyline into it, so probably like maybe 1 or 2 matches, but I did enjoy the show for what it was. Or and stuff, but I just wanted to read a couple of these matches real quick because it's a lot of Lucha Underground, some MLW on here, which I'm surprised they're even still going with Lucha Underground. I don't even know if Lucha Underground will be going to a season 5, to be honest with you. I know they finally let 5 people off from their contracts because the Lucha Underground contracts are insanely crazy to what I hear. And I know they let people like Joey Ryan, Ivelisse, El Hijo de Fantasma, King Cuerno, aka King Cuerno, Tejano and Tejano Jr. and Cobra Moon from their contracts off so they can actually work anywhere where they want to work now because they were being held hostage to what I heard. And that was according to Ivelisse, written in a post from a while ago, but I guess they're finally letting them go. Listen, I don't even know if Lucha Underground will make it to season 5, okay? Season 4 was not really good, okay? You knew by the money, you knew by the budget they were on, you knew by how so many people left, and then it was just a weird ending when Jack Swagger is the world champion and Wade Barrett is like the higher power and stuff. And the taping schedule, it has to go like in marathon mode. Once it comes on TV, this stuff is almost taped almost 7-8 months ago, and half of these guys are either in a different company or they're somewhere else or they are killed off this show. But just to go over this Team Impact versus Team Lucha Underground, I'm going to just go over these matches. You have Brian Cage, which this guy is on Lucha Underground on both shows anyways. Eddie Edwards, Moose, and someone to be announced since Johnny Impact wanted that team with these guys due to storyline purposes. Someone will be in his place versus Team Lucha Underground, which is Aerostar, Drago, King Cuerno, and Daga. It should be a crazy spot fest. It should be good, though. LAX versus Promosius Dorado. I believe that's MLW. Low Key. Former LAX member Low Key, who was part of the group. And Ricky Martinez. So if you know that group in MLW, you know what I'm talking about. Jimmy Havoc versus Sami Callihan, another Monsters Ball. These two have tried to kill each other several times in these. I think they did something in the UK. They tried to do some Monsters Ball match, so that's gonna go down. Tessa Blanchard versus Joey Ryan, which I believe at first was supposed to be Eli Drake, if I'm not mistaken. But then he said he wasn't gonna do the match, but they still announced it. But I guess they put Joey Ryan since he fits that mold of doing these type of matches. I'm surprised that I'm sure AEW will sign him, by the way. He's on being the elite all the time, so watch out for that. And then, to be honest, now that I think about it, I think Eli Drake will probably be tagged in the whole Team Impact match, if you ask me, because Eddie Edwards is there, and they are a team now, so I would expect that to happen. Ultimate X match. Jake Chris, Dante Fox, AR Fox, whatever you want to call him. Jack Evans, which I believe he's signed to AAA, so, you know, that's another promotion that's involved in this. I don't know, no one has signed him. Pat Buck, Koto Brazil from MLW, and Johnny Impact. And whoever wins I believe it says here for a future X Division title shot. I don't know why Johnny would be in this match. The man is already the world champion right now for Impact. Unless he wants both titles, I don't know, but it should be another crazy spot fest. Rich Swann versus Yamamoto from Dragon Gate. I don't really know much about this guy. I've never seen this guy. I don't know that much about Dragon Gate other than Pac, formerly known as Neville, is like the champion down there. So I'm sure this match should be good. Fatal 4-way match for the Knockouts Championship. Taya, Jordan Grace, Rosemary, and Katie Forbes. I don't know who really Katie Forbes is. I think I may have seen one match. I think she is RVD's girlfriend, if I'm not mistaken. Looks great. I will say that. I don't know a lot about her, but it's gonna be a fatal 4-way. And in the main event, the Lucha Brothers, Phoenix and Pentagon versus Rob Van Dam and Sabu in an Extreme Rules match. Listen, I don't know. I have not seen Sabu wrestle in a while now, so I'm assuming he can still go. RVD, I know he can still go. I just think WWE will not hire him back, if I'm not mistaken, because he has this eye injury, and I think WWE doesn't want to risk him. I think the story I read was Pentagon kicking him in the face hard, and that's what hurt his vision. I don't know. I think that's what I remember reading, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I believe RVD can still go. I haven't seen him wrestle in a minute. I hope he comes out to his old TNA theme song when that happens, because I did laugh at that song, and I always thought it was pretty funny. Rob Van Dam, the whole effing show, Rob Van Dam, how that whole thing goes and stuff. But I don't know how much RVD wrestles today. I think he held a weed shop last time I'm not mistaken. He looks the same to me. He could still go. I don't know. I know he could still wrestle. He just can't go back to WWE just due to that whole, I think, vision thing last time I checked. But I know Van Dam can still go. He looks the same to me. I'm assuming he's still the shit. So listen, man, if you can still do a Rolling Thunder, do those crazy insane kicks and 5-star frog splash, and you can go. Sabu, listen, I know he's a walking botchamania, as some people said in the past, but Sabu's still Sabu. So this does sound like a great match on paper, though. But we shall see what happens. But it's going to be a very long week this week. It's going to be a lot of shows to review, a lot of logos to set up and everything, and reviewing these shows. I know it's going to be a very, very long week of wrestling, okay? A very long week. Other than getting through regular shows, like probably whatever Raw, SmackDown, go-home shows, I think the real weekend starts when we get to Thursday, when this United We Stand thing happens, or whatever show we have going on through that weekend for WWE Live. It's going to be so many shows going on. But the most ones I'm probably going to watch is mostly this one, the G1 Supercard, NXT, and Mania itself. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of shows going on. Most likely Evolve is going to have stuff. Everybody's going to have something, okay? It's a long weekend stuff. Come on, Wale Mania happening too. So watch out, people. It's going to be a long week, and I'm going to need a lot of things to keep me up throughout that time also. But I'm out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out. Comment and subscribe. Also, Hooded Knight 890 Twitter.